With this segment, I'd like to drill down into interacting with your prospects. It is in the start in the morning. You're in your booth, it's tidy, all the cards and brochures are laid out neatly. And in the background, the TV's running with your loop of testimonials or activities that your organisation represents. Everything's focusing on the benefits, your signage is simple, promoting your brand and the benefits of your operation. And then the first client comes up and looks interested. The biggest mistake that operators make is they talk too much. Communication is about listening and understanding the other person and pruning back on your offer to focus on their needs. Several years ago, I was at a workshop run by Darren LaCroix, and he introduced me to the verbal business card, which I think is a brilliant concept. This is a 5 to 10 word statement that gives you the essence of your business and a benefit or two of your operation. It does not include your name or your position or the company in the title. If you can have some alliteration, starting with the same sounds or letters, or rhythm, all the better. And if it's a little bit quirky, it'll get attention. When looking for rhyming words, go to www.rhymer.com, and you can just put any word there and it'll spit out hundreds of words usually that will rhyme. And you can soon get something that is interesting together. You may have noticed when I started, I introduced myself with my verbal business card. Hi, I'm David Burston from Confidence Limited in Cairns, and my job is to create confident communicators quickly. In 5 words, I've told you the essence of my business, plus given you 2 benefits, confidence and quickly. If you had, say, Meals on Wheels, it may be along the lines of, we are the masters of mobile meals for mates, or for a second-hand clothes store. Our quality goods, hang on, let me think again. Our quality good recycling makes the deprived delighted. Just play around with, have a few options, but try and get something that you can be super quick in getting the essence of your business in front of somebody. Typically, I would use my verbal business card to check if the other person shows any interest. If they do and ask for more information, then it's time to go for your elevator pitch, which is an extended version. The structure of a simple elevator pitch is, you start with your organisation and its function, and then you say helps, and then you put in your customers, who your customers are, to become, and you put in the outcome. So who you are, who your customers, what the outcome is, so they can, and that is your benefit. So it's your organisation, the function, the customers, the outcome, and the benefit is what you want to have in your elevator pitch. Now, if we go back to our Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels provides healthy meals for those people who struggle to prepare their own. They have at least 5 prepared meals a week, helping them to stay healthy while having a regular human connections. With the second-hand shop, it might be our second-hand shop provides quality second-hand goods for those who may be financially challenged. This enables them to clothe themselves and their family at a reasonable price and be confident in their community. So look at how you do it. We'll do more work at the meeting on this, but it is something that's, once again, it keeps it concise. You don't go off down rabbit burrows telling long stories. Well, you need to get over this first stage there to check whether they're interested with you. So it's not about endless rehearsing your either your business card, verbal business card, or your elevator pitch. But just get the essence of it out so you can put it into your words and make it work for you. So normally we would start with our verbal business card, then give a big pause, inviting the other person to talk. Their body language will tell you what they're thinking. If they smile and they have an open body language, make eye contact, then you've probably made a good first impression. But get into the habit of watching their feet. Feet never lie. Ask any policeman. If their feet turn towards the door, you know they're ready to run. If their feet point towards you, you know they're interested in you. So always just gaze down and have a look at the feet. So if the thing is, when you introduce them, and if they're interested, then you can get your tick sheet. Your survey sheet, you can just focus. They've told you what you want them to talk about. And that is the beauty of having a survey sheet, is you can be so concise and so on what they want to hear. And if they sort of not sure, ask them deep questions like, when did you first start thinking about volunteering? Was there anybody who inspired you to want to be a volunteer? What was it like when you first started your business? Always ask questions that make people think, because as they're delving back in their memories, they start to tell you what makes them tick. When you ask for more information, when they ask for more information, rather than the dry facts, we talked about getting a database of stories together. Use a story rather than facts to show them how you can benefit them, because they remember stories, they don't remember facts. If you can be seen as a guide in your story of how you've helped somebody else, and they are in a similar position, they will immediately assume that you can do the same thing for them. You don't have to tell them, they just assume that. So stories are incredibly powerful, and it's well worth putting some time in and just brainstorming and think, well, what stories could I use? What stories would volunteers be interested in? What stories really show the benefit of the organisation? Perhaps your organisation is not a good fit for the person who's pulled up to talk to you. It just doesn't interest them. But by encouraging them to talk, you may realise you've got somebody in your network who would benefit them. So you can say, well, look, I've got somebody who might like to talk to you on that. Do you have anybody in your network who should be talking to us? Try and create a win-win situation so neither of you walk away with nothing. How do you change a person's mind? You don't. In 95% of people, they will never change their mind. So don't try and convince them. What we have to do is offer them an alternative. The person might say, I don't have the time to go volunteering. Perhaps in the conversation, they talked about wanting to be a chef in the future. And your response may be, would you like to help in the kitchen and learn from our amazing chef? swap it into another area. And that is the benefit of spending that bit of time talking to see if there's any link between your two organisations that is going to be attractive. When Pepsi competed directly with Coke, it struggled for years. That changed when Pepsi changed its branding to appeal to the young market. It said Coke was for the old fuddy-duddies. Pepsi is the young person's drink. And so they weren't going against Coke. They couldn't change their mind, but they could change the minds about who loved the product. And they had a huge boost in sales by doing that. Be aware of how people speak, as it will give you a lead to how you should respond. We talk about VACs, visual, audio, and kinesthetic people, especially if you're training. You'd be used to that. Visual people love stories. They're animated. They get things done quickly. They want things to happen. And you can always tell them because they are lively. The auditory people are more your general manager. They'll talk a bit slower and they'll pause. And they like to take in the information by listening. They're listening hard to you. Now the kinesthetic, they like to experience things hands-on. And they tend to be quieter and they're very attuned to feelings. They'll want to know how people feel when they do the volunteering. So if you have a visual personality, tone it down, especially if you're speaking with a kinesthetic person, as you'll be going too fast for them. So start off by just saying, well, what do you feel about volunteering? With kinesthetic, you can bring them up to your level as a visual. But if you start at visual, they'll just switch off and they'll glaze over in the eyes. So be really just aware. As well as mirroring language, it makes people comfortable if you mirror their body language as well. Now, you might think that this is a bit sort of overboard, but our subconscious mind will take in body language absolutely instantaneously. We don't laugh and then feel that we're happy. Our body language picks up the emotion and then we say, well, are we going to laugh, or how are we going to smile, or how are we going to react to it? But the emotion is instantaneous between two people. And it's just that the reaction takes a little bit longer. But it's not the reaction and then the emotion. So anything you do with your body language, with your tone of voice, the other person is just or their subconscious. It's just going straight into their subconscious and they're reacting to what their subconscious are telling them. If you're in a situation where people give you business cards, always have a system of 2 separate places to put them. Have your gold customers and the rest. It might be 2 different pockets in your jeans or your coat. Or it might be 2 containers underneath the tables, clearly marked. The reason you do that is you get to the end of the day and you've got this big pile of business cards and you think, I am exhausted. But if you've taken out the people that you're really interested in and you want to contact, there might be only 10 of them. You can sit down even while you're at the booth and flick them off an email saying, great meeting you. Yeah, I'd love to do more, keep in touch. And you can get onto your gold customers immediately, look after them, and then the rest of them, they can wait a day or 2 until you've recovered. If you have several people backed up at your booth area, Make sure you've got your photo albums, your information, things that they can browse through. If there's nothing there, they'll move away. And that's where the survey forms come in brilliantly. It always gives somebody something to do. And also, if you've got water on a hot day, they love it. They love you. When your booth operators are fresh in the morning, and the traffic is fresh too, that is when you have the biggest result, in those first 3 or 4 hours in the morning. If you're short-staffed, always try and have your mornings fully staffed and have the gaps in the afternoon, because it tends to, the traffic will slow down and the traffic won't react to you as well. So look after your mornings. And the other thing to be aware of is just talk to the event organisers. You know, we've been to a number of events where all of a sudden a plane has flown in from Papua New Guinea with 300 people in it and come to the event, and we've been absolutely swamped. Or school kids come in after lunch. Or buses arrive. Somebody's got a bus, and these, if they're bringing a few bus loads of people, they'll usually talk to the event managers. So talk to the event managers, and there might be times where you slip an extra operator or two onto your booth. In summary, have a verbal business card, have an elevator pitch ready to use. Minimise the talking, maximise the listening. Use mirroring of verbal and body language. Have stories ready to illustrate your key points, and don't forget to draw the raffle if you have one. So good luck.